Hello everyone, and welcome to Project Insights webinar. Our topic for today is PI integration for JIRA. Just a few things to note before we get started. All participants will be put on mute. However, any questions you have are more than welcome, and we'll answer them at the end. Please type them into the questions box, which you can find on our GoToWebinar panel. Also, do know this webinar recording will be available within the Project Insight community. My name is Chanel, and I'll be your moderator for today. I'm currently the sales assistant here at Project Insight. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please feel free to reach me at chanel.harrell@projectinsight.com. Our presenter for today is Cynthia West. Cynthia is the VP of Sales and Marketing at Project Insight. In over 14 years at the company, has had thousands of client interactions from the evaluation process through implementation and success. Today, she's going to walk us through the integration. So before getting started, we want to ask you, our audience, a couple questions. First question is, are any of you currently a JIRA user? A, yes, our whole organization uses JIRA. B, the development team. C, we have agile projects but don't use JIRA. D, you don't know what JIRA is at all. Or E, others. Please type into the questions box. So let's see what our audience says. All right. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Got results in. So it looks like more than half of our audience has their whole organization using JIRA. About 29% using, with the development team just using JIRA, and we've got another portion that have agile projects but don't use JIRA. So interesting mix we've got. We do have one more question for you guys. For all of you who maybe aren't using JIRA, how do you currently manage your projects? Through Excel, Microsoft Project, sticky notes, whiteboards, or cocktail napkin, or if there's any others, please type them into the questions box. Alrighty. Great. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close this out. So it looks like we've got about 13% of our users using Excel, 38% of our users using Microsoft Project, and about 50 using Project Insight, which was in our other box. So it's great to see you all here. With those results, I'm going to go ahead and pass this over to Cynthia to go ahead and jump into our demo of the PI integration for JIRA. Welcome, Cynthia.
Thanks, Chanel. Okay, guys should be seeing my slide here. First, I just want to talk a little bit about what we're doing here with the Project Insight integration for JIRA. Here are some of the features that we have. We're basically allowed to enter. Hang on, let me back up one step. We are allowed to synchronize projects from JIRA to Project Insight or from Project Insight to JIRA, as well as tasks come from JIRA to Project Insight and vice versa. We're passing the work effort from JIRA into Project Insight with the main goal of allowing you to use Project Insight as your portfolio, project, and resource reporting engine. So we're going to grab all of that data from JIRA, aggregate it into those status reports at the very high level. So that's the main goal. And to do that, we also grab work status from JIRA on tasks or issues, and we do pass that over to Project Insight. If you are using JIRA to enter time into the work log, that will also pass from JIRA into Project Insight. Comments are bidirectional, so a comment in a JIRA task or issue can pass to PI and back and forth. If you have documents and file attachments, those will also come over to Project Insight. And you can optionally choose which tasks you want to sync up or link to Project Insight. So there might be some tasks on a JIRA project that you opt not to have in Project Insight, and that's okay too. Now, what are the benefits? As I said, really one of the main benefits is that your PM team gets oodles of project data in Project Insight. So now we're able to take all of that work that the development team is performing or other parts of your org may be performing and put that into Project Insight and leverage all of the wonderful dashboards that you have, the portfolio reports, the resource reports, task reports, and I'm going to show you some examples of that today. The other benefit is that each team can live in the application that's right for each group. So in a lot of cases, developers like JIRA and they don't necessarily want to log into another system, whereas project managers really enjoy the hierarchical views that Project Insight provides, and executives, of course, love the dashboards and reports. Another benefit is that you can roll up multiple JIRA instances. So if you have more than one team using a separate JIRA instance, that will also combine into your Project Insight and act as a reporting engine or hub. And also there's obviously a lot more to it, but if you're running a PMO and the PMs can then see all of the work that's being performed across the entire organization in one place. So not only are we pulling in tasks and projects from JIRA, but if you have strategic initiatives that you're working on that aren't a part of JIRA, those would reside in Project Insight, and then everything is in one place. The project and the resource managers then have visibility into how much work everyone has on both Agile and Waterfall projects. Executives have portfolio and project status dashboards. You don't have double entry as the systems are talking to each other. And I'm going to basically show you all of that today. Hang on one second. All right, so you guys should be seeing my JIRA instance here. And what you're looking at is I have a project here called Web Development. And I labeled it JIRA to PI just to correspond to what I'm going to show you in Project Insight. Now this is the name of the task or issue, Create Website Wireframe. And you can see the type it is. You can see the description here, the file attachment, any comments, any work that's been logged here. And you can see that it's assigned to John. Now, if I pop over to my Project Insight site, you'll also see the corresponding task there. It's Create Website Wireframe is right here. That's the name of the task. The description is carrying over. The last status comment, the work status coming from JIRA, and the duration that's coming from the original estimated value of the level of effort, our actual hours posting here, and the variance, and you can see who it's assigned to. And you also have here the file attachment as well. Okay. So let's go ahead and just show you how. Let's add another issue and show you how that works here. Create a new one. All right, so that's the task. We're on this project. You have the description here. And you drop in the estimate. So let's say this is going to take 1 week. Go ahead and create that. And once that's been created, I could come here. Let me just refresh my page. And there's my task, my description, and so forth. Okay. Now the cool thing too is you can aggregate all of this data. The real objective here is that we want to pull all the work in that's coming from JIRA, and we want to be able to express that into our different reports. So one of the most valuable reports that our customers use is our resource allocation view. So I'm going to go ahead and collapse that left side, get a little bit more room there. And this is our cross-project resource allocation view. And what you have here is all of your resources, all of the people on your team on the left, the timeline you've chosen on the top. So I'm looking at next month. WT means week total. I'm looking at Jill's schedule here. And you can see that green, she's okay, and red, she's overbooked. The black line is expressing her threshold. So you can always hover over that to see, okay, she's available 40 hours that week, but she's actually booked for 60 odd hours. And underneath her name are the projects that fall into that time period. So we're seeing software development, software implementation, and then this is the project that originated in JIRA. So when I expand that, I can see the actual task that might be causing the over allocation, and I can make some operational decisions here. So I can either add another resource to it, push it out, or I can simply drag and drop that to a more available resource. Go ahead and drag that over there. But the point is that we want to show you that you've got all of your projects, all of your tasks, all of your resources in one place that lets you have that resource visibility so that you can make sure that you're balancing the workload for your team members, that they don't get frustrated, that they have too much work, and that everything is balanced out. Another really popular report among our customer base is to view all of the work that folks are performing in a task report. So again, in this view, I have all of my team members, and I've got a couple of roll-ups here. I'm rolling up by project, and then also as I expand, it's also by task. So here's that website project that we were working on, but we also have another one here, software dev, coming from JIRA as well. So here we can see her work, how many work hours, her actuals, the variance, and we can also check some tasks off if she hasn't done that herself. Then from an executive point of view, all of this data will roll up for dashboards and reports that are more graphical. So as you may know if you're a customer that we do have pie charts, bar charts, line charts, area charts, really hundreds of permutations of reports. And once you save a report, you can then display it on a dashboard. So basically here is just a few examples of some pie charts. And then we have a capacity planner here with some bars and a line showing our total capacity for the next quarter coming up. And then a portfolio roll-up overview. So these are just 3 examples of the way that that information from JIRA plays into the high-level reports that executives want, that project managers need, resource managers need, and that if you're running a PMO, really becomes mission critical. So now that you've seen that, what I want to spend just a couple of moments here on the setup. So if you are in a trial or in a customer project insight, you can access the add-on today, and it's in Get Apps and Add-ons. Mine's already installed, so I'm going to access it here on your apps and add-ons. But when you go here, you're just going to click Install, and then you configure it this way. You can give it a separate name. You can determine if you want projects to go from Project Insight to enable projects to Project Insight from JIRA. You need to designate a folder where the projects will land from JIRA. If you do want to sync comments and files, you can do that. If you also want your assigned users in JIRA to map automatically into Project Insight, you can check that checkbox as well. And then for your work updates, you map the verbiage in JIRA, which is right here, to the verbiage in Project Insight. And that's what updates those work statuses. And you map the users so that they match. And then on the bottom, you have additional checkboxes where you can take the JIRA issues and put them into tasks in Project Insight and also maintain the hierarchy from JIRA if you're using epics and stories. And you can also synchronize the time entries. So that's the one-time setup. It's very easy to do. And once you're set up, you're good to go. So what I'll do here, just real quickly before I let Steve answer the questions, is I'm going to log out and log back in as the administrator. And you'll see my project list here. So I just want to touch on the idea of epics. So if you want to use the agile methodologies, you can set up the epics so that they transfer over to Project Insight. And what happens there is the name of the epic gets created as a summary task, and it will create a project in Project Insight that's designated as an agile project, which will then enable these columns here for agile and iteration. And you can use the stories and tasks and so forth. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over questions and answers to Steve.
Great. So it looks like we do have a couple questions. First question is, does JIRA have to be installed on Atlassian server, or can it be set up locally on premise? I think you're on mute.